Hello, dreamers. Perla here. As always, thank you for your love and support. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't done so, go ahead and do so. We would love to have you. So, this is going to be the collective of reading for this week. And the energy that is coming in is action. Some of you need to take actions on your plan. Some of you need to continue on taking actions, even if you're not seeing immediate results in something. There is an energy here of either a person or a group of people that are doubting what it is that you're doing now, whether this is in love or in your finances, your career, or a hobby. Again, there is a group that is expecting you to fail or is wishing upon you failing on something. Now, with that being said, that proving these people wrong should not be your determination. I feel that that is having the outcome of what these actions are going to bring to you in the next year in 2026 is just going to be the icing on the cake, right? Having slow down, please. So showing up in a way that these people doubted you. It's just icing on the cake is what I should say. And so I want you instead this week to stay focused on your why. Why is it that you started this? Whether again it was your a financial budget or a project at work, a project within yourself. Maybe you took up like working out, or maybe you took out, living more holistically, or whatever it is that you're choosing to do, whatever it is that you started or you're thinking of starting, ask yourself why. And I want you to remind yourself whenever you're feeling doubt that is coming from outside of you. I want you to remind yourself of that why. Because again, there are people here that have either tried to in the past stopped you or try to gaslight you or something of that matter when it came for you to pursuing this dream, this goal. Now, a very simple example I'm going to put out there is like, let's say some of you want to be in a healthy, committed relationship where there is honesty and transparency. And maybe you're talking to friends and family members and they're telling you, well, all men cheat or all women are whores or whatever it is. And you're sitting there and you're just like, no, I know that that's not the reality of it, right? I know that that's not the reality of what a relationship is meant to be like, right? So again, when we allow people to dictate what is real for our life, that is the reality that we choose to live in. So during this time, as you're taking these actions towards whatever it is that you're wanting to, you really are going to have to actively work on silencing other people's voices, on silencing the echo of families, friends, etc., that do not live in the same reality that you are in. And what I mean by that, I'm not talking about delusion or anything like that. We're talking about a frequency state, right? Certain people are stuck in certain frequencies and they choose not to allow themselves to see beyond that. They choose not to allow themselves to grow beyond that experience. And because you have chosen to look at life in a different way, because you have chosen to go into those spaces that a lot of people run away from, you are starting to see that there is no limits. There is no limitations to what it is that you can achieve. And we're not just talking about like your physical appearance, excuse me. We're talking about your finances. We're talking about your love, about relationship. Um, we're talking about everything at the same time, right? Because a lot of you, when you started this path or whatever it is, for some of you it was about getting physically back to yourself. Maybe you were dealing with an illness, maybe you were trying to lose weight, or you were trying to get back in shape or something like that. It seems like when some of you started your physical, not your physical, your spiritual journey, it had something to do with the physical, with something materialistic, something that could be seen, something that was tangible, something that can be touched, whether this was your physical body or whether this was your financial stability. Maybe you got into spirituality via manifestation, and then you started to discover that there was much more to it than just that, right? So it is for those of you that this message is going to come into alignment with. So again, there is just like this clear moment of clarity that allows you to see the truth, even if it is for just like a blink, for like a second, and it's like, wow, wait, I haven't been taking action on this because of this old dialogue that was lingering around. And again, learning to have that discernment when you're having with people, because again, when you have discernment, it's not about changing what the person is saying or changing that person's point of view. It is about whether or not you choose to allow yourself to get pulled into that frequency that they are in. Okay. So this year 2026, as you're taking, well, the year we're coming into 2026, as you're taking action, there is this sense of having this discernment when it comes to communicating with other people, so that as you're taking your action, there is no longer this space of doubt. Because again, this doubt that excuse me, that was holding you back for an extended period of time was the echoes of the people that you chose to listen to listen to. Okay, because again, not everyone that you connect with, not everyone that you decide to have in your life is always going to be on the same frequency with you, right? We are on different frequencies depending on where it is that we are in our life at any given time. So we're not using, how can I word it in a way that can be understood? So when we're talking about frequencies, we're not talking about one being better than the other. We're not talking about one person being above another person. We're just talking about the vibration that the state of vibration that you are in at a given moment in time. Okay, and some people it comes naturally for them to vibrate a certain state and be able to influence other people under that state. Whether you see that vibrational state as something positive or negative is irrelevant, right? And some people are able to recognize where certain people are vibrationally and then are able to, because they're able to have that discernment of realizing it as even before a person approaches them, then they know how to navigate that space without getting pulled into that space, right? And I feel that that is what is happening as you're taking action, because it's like something has become clear to you when it comes to like the spiritual aspect of life, when it comes to like seeing something clearly for the first time. And I really do and I know that I say this a lot, but when I start to see collectively people starting to awaken to certain things, it really does bring joy to my heart, because to me it is such a beautiful and profound experience regardless of everything else that is within that space, right? And that's what I see for you guys. I see this awakening from again this very limited perspective, whether it was towards your manifestation, whether it was to your spirituality or something of that matter, and you're broadening like this is huge of space now where you're taking actions because you know that there's no failure within the space. You know that there is no limits within this space. And I really like that you're walking with confidence, even though you don't know the how exactly something is going to manifest in a certain way or whatever it is. You know that it is there. And your main focus, especially this week, is like, okay, how do I get into alignment with this space without forcing it, without having to do all of these other things? And for a lot of you, you're recognizing what the breath in itself does when it comes to manifestation. There's a reason why certain practices chant and breathe in a certain way. There's reasons why certain practices sit or lay down in certain ways. There's reasons why every practice has a different way of connecting or tuning into different vibrations when it comes to manifestation. And something is becoming very clear to you this week. All right. So we have the boundaries. Where do you have to establish better boundaries? And this makes sense because remember, we were talking this week about what? We were talking about discernment, right? We were talking about knowing where it is that you are allowing yourself to be pulled into, what realities or what vibrations are you allowing yourself unconsciously to be pulled into. Are you the main character in your life at all time, or do you sometimes become like a second class character in your life? Do you become an extra in your own life by again choosing to live by someone else's reality, choosing to live by someone else's echo? So this week, this boundary that you're practicing is really expanding. And I really, again, I love this energy, because once you get to this space, once you see this, once something is shown to you, there is no turning back unless you choose to. There is no closing your eyes. There's no putting the veil back. There is none of that. It's like there's none of that. Like anything that you want to go ahead and blame on other people, anything that you want to go ahead and say, I failed, I did, it's all like, we don't use that talk here, babe. Like, and and that is what is happening for you guys this week. And again, I really really do love this energy. Please listen, I advise you, I invite you, as I was last week, I was inviting people into listening to the guidance, listening to spirit, because this revelation this week is going to be amazing, and it is going to be the turning point for a lot of the changes that are happening within the first 3 months of 2026 for you guys that are in this space. For you guys that are in this frequency, 2026, the first 3 months, your life is going to change in a way that is going to not just shock those around you, but you yourself are going to be in awe, like, wait, I need a moment to like catch my breath, because this has to be unreal. Like, this did not change this fast. You're telling me that I had access to this entire time. That's all that I have for you, as always. Thank you for your love and support. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. Love you all. Bye bye.